Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to this webinar on empowering your process with document generation API for workflow automation. Let me set the context first. Digital first businesses today are increasingly relying on digital tools to expedite their transition towards a paperless work culture. Business leaders are also striving to optimize operations and deliver a personalized customer experiences and most importantly at scale. Therefore, the need of the hour today are transformative capabilities of APIs to generate, extract, and securely sign your documents, and also seamlessly integrate powerful document processing into your existing workflows. With this context, ETCIO and Adobe take this opportunity to bring this discussion in your midst. And without much ado, let me introduce and welcome Ketki Rastogi, who's the solutions consultant at Adobe and who will give us some insights on this process. Ketki, welcome. Thank you for taking your time, and I'm very eager to listen to your presentation.
Thank you for setting up the context, Vaishnavi. Very excited to kind of talk about what Adobe can do in terms of automation and help the community out, right?
Ketki, if I can interrupt you for a minute, I'm so sorry. We will listen to your presentation, and I have a couple of questions myself. So once we go through this, we'll let the audience also ask you questions. So for the audiences, if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat box, and Ketaki and I will try and address as many as possible at the end of this discussion. Ketaki, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. And yes, please keep adding your questions because I think that's also going to drive this discussion. And I like to do a two-way communication rather than it being single. So, yeah, let's get started. As Vaishnavi said, we're going to be discussing how we can help automate documents with Adobe Document Cloud. But before we begin, actually, let's set up the context as to why do we need to talk about this, right? Why is it so important to be talking about documents in a digital format? When you look at engagements today, right, even when we are in person, doing in person engagements, we generally have a digital footprint that we leave behind. Either we are sending a quote or we are sending some kind of a document to the customer to to kind of tell them a little bit more about our products and services. So any engagement that you do in today's context will have a digital footprint, will be a digital first engagement. And the experience that people have by creating these documents, while consuming these documents, is super important. It's super important to have great experiences because that's where you can capture the crowd with whatever it is that you want to talk about, and ensure that you have the right mind share when they have a great experience interacting with the documents that you have left behind, right? In today's day and age, it's also important to ensure that the documents that we are sending out are secured and compliant to the nature of our industry. And we should be able to create and manage these documents out of a hybrid workplace because we are generally working on the go. We are sometimes working from our home and our office, and we need to have access to all the required infrastructure from our companies to ensure that we can create pixel perfect documents, right? And we need to do this in a manner that doesn't really hurt the environment and has the minimal environmental impact. Now that we have established that digital documents are the one of the most common method of communicating, I want to talk to you about this particular figure. This figure of 2.5 trillion is actually the number of PDFs that are available in the world today. It's a big number. And this kind of creation of PDF, reading through these PDFs, managing these PDFs will require a lot of automation, not just by developers who can manipulate PDFs using our APIs, but at every level where people are reading, scanning, analyzing documents. Because frankly speaking, 2.5 trillion documents across the world. Also, there have been studies that have suggested that around 40% of the documents that are sent out via email are PDF files, right? So when you have so many documents, Of course, they trickle down through your entire organization, wherein you have sales teams, marketing teams, supply chain teams, legal, procurement, IT, finance, HR. Everybody has documentation of some sort, and you need to ensure that we can manage these documents easily. So how do we do this? There's just one way to do this, is to basically automate all the ad hoc tasks that we have, and whatever it is that we can do at our level. So automation in today's day and age is not just restricted to developers, right? Everybody, even a person who doesn't really know how to code but is technically sound, or a person who is not even technically sound but knows how to handle technology, right? Open up a few softwares, manage their day-to-day work. We need to provide them capabilities that they can use to automate their ad hoc tasks. Only then will they be able to process information out of the 2.5 trillion documents that exist in the world out there. So benefits of automation would help us increase the efficiency of the people designing the document, reduce errors in the documents that have been designed. We'll be able to ensure that the documents can be secured, because there is an increase in efficiency that will of course lead to cost saving and management of compliances and increased profitability. Okay, so in today's discussion, I'm actually going to be talking about automation at three different levels, right? How can we help three different personas that come from three different walks of life automate and manage their documents a little bit better? So we are going to first talk about Geeta, who is an account executive and who is continuously interacting with her customers, sending personalized documents that she creates out of them. How can we help her, right? Abir is a desktop support person with the IT team, and he really likes and he's actually supporting Geeta's team or an HR team or a marketing team and enabling them to manage their documents better. We also have Gagan, who is a senior business executive. Now, Gagan is concerned about the rise of technology and needs to ensure that the technology that is there in his ecosystem can talk to each other, and he can actually help automate certain manual processes that are still left behind by the core pieces of technological infrastructure that exists in the organization today. What is this technological infrastructure? Could be your ERPs, CRMs, HRMS solutions. There are still pieces that are left that are not automated but need automation even today. So let's kind of deep dive into all of these three personas and see how we can help them out, right? So let's talk about Geeta. Now, Geeta, since she is the one who is creating ad hoc documents for all her customers, once she creates this documents, she needs an easy way to kind of manage these documents. She needs to be able to secure them, watermark them, and send them out in a manner that is compliant to the industry of a company. But she is by no means a person who can code or needs to code. She's just a person who is handy with technology and wants to use it to its maximum capability. So for her, we've got Acrobat, right, wherein she can set up actions and do these ad hoc tasks every time whenever she wants to send a document out. So suppose she wants to, as I said, compress a file. Maybe she's created a document which is a 50 MB document. She cannot possibly send a 50 MB document to the customer. She wants to truncate it. So she wants to compress the document. She wants to watermark the document. She wants to secure the document with a password. But maybe if she has to do these three activities, she'll have to go through multiple clicks. With Acrobat, you can do all of these three activities with a single click, just by setting up an action. Let me just show you real quickly, right? Because I think a, a demo always speaks louder than words ever can. So I'm going to right now here wear Geeta's hat, and if I wanted to manage this document or secure this particular document and compress it, I'll have to go into our compress section, then to our protect section, and also go into our edit section to add a watermark to this particular document if that's what I want, right? If I want to add a watermark, I'll have to add it from here. And there may be times that I forget to add these. So in that case, you can go ahead, design actions, and here are some of the list of actions that Adobe kind of gives you out of the box. You can also create your actions. And I've created one such action which just does three things, right? It adds a watermark. It removes all the hidden information or the metadata in the document. So things like author's name, author's email ID, author's phone number, which might be captured as a metadata in the document, can easily be removed by a single click. And then it can help you password protect it all by a single click when I click on start, right? Ensuring that I don't forget any one of these pieces. So really helps her automate documents and interact with them the way she wants and rather quickly, rather than her having to do these things multiple times. Also, should she choose, she wants to send documents to multiple people at the same time with a single click, right? So Adobe has send in bulk option, which allows to send a document in bulk. So suppose you have a document, you have an Excel sheet with that lists all the people that you want to send a document to, and you have a custom message, you want this document to carry certain personalized information, and all of this is in an Excel sheet. With our send in bulk functionality, you can send documents to up to 300 people in one click to get documents signed. So really helps her automate these processes with ease. Otherwise, she would have to, send these individual documents out for signature 300 times, which is again a mammoth of a task, right? So that's from Geeta's end, wherein she can go ahead and automate the tasks that are under her purview. Let's take the next step, right? Let's talk about Abir. Abir, who is a desktop support personnel. Yeah, Abir, who is a desktop support personnel. And he's not a developer, but he's an expert user in desktop tool and is handy with scripting, right? The team he supports actually dislikes additional complexity and loses time swapping into and out of applications. And they, like Geeta, are actually doing a lot of repetitive tasks, right? So he's really interested in supporting the teams with certain automation that he can do with his on his end, which would be low code and no code. So that's where Adobe integrations come in. So we have integrations. We are a preferred partner with Microsoft, and we have deep integrations with Microsoft M365 ecosystem, which actually allows you to utilize Acrobat capability from within M365. Could be SharePoint, OneDrive, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, so on and so forth, right? So you can just go ahead, access your SharePoint drive, and open up Acrobat capabilities within the system as well. Then we also have plugins into Power Automate, which is a low code automation solution. And here you can just bring in components within Adobe and create the workflow of your choice. It could be sending documents out for signing. It could be processing the documents with our APIs. All of that is available for you for your consumption through our low code platform, through the low code platform of Power Automate. And again, it's not just the Microsoft integrations that we have in our ecosystem. When it comes to Adobe Acrobat Sign, they actually integrate with multiple other CRM solutions like Salesforce, Viva, HRM solutions like Workday, ServiceNow, SuccessFactors, CLM, CPQ solutions like AgileSoft, iCertis, Also other productivity solutions like Google, like we just designed an integration with Google Chrome, which is pretty handy and allows you to read documents while you are in Google Chrome, and also give you certain Acrobat like capability within the Chrome environment. So basically you do not have to open up Acrobat solution every time you're reading that particular PDF. Let's move on and talk about Gagan, right? How can we help Gagan, who who expects his businesses, who wants to focus on the business of his organization, and is continuously seeking any ways to get ahead of the competition. He actually wants his customers to be able to start any transactions on any device. He's really looking at his organization from an end-to-end perspective, wherein he can help automate that entire scenarios or any tasks that are left out of his core solutions, and help the end users both inside and outside the company. So he wants a north star process, right? He wants a process which can talk to each other. So right now you would have a lot of uh, products in your IT ecosystem, but you, whenever you take on another product, you need to ensure that it communicates with your solution stack and is able to give you the right capability at the right place, be it generation of an invoice, a contract, reports, offer letter, whatever it is, it should be able to help you manage those documents. So that's where Gagan comes in. To empower Gagan, just give me to empower Gagan, we have this multitude of Adobe Acrobat APIs, Adobe Acrobat Services APIs that help you do multiple things to manage and manipulate documents, right? So be it document generation, wherein you have certain data which is in a JSON format or in an Excel sheet, any so in that we can take in, and you have a template wherein you want to push this data out to get personalized documents out for multiple individuals, that can be managed through our document generation piece. With document intelligence, we help to extract data from the document. If the document is a image, we also help to OCR the document, and you can also export the document into various formats should there be a need. So suppose you have a document as a PDF, but you want to export it to a Word format to continue working on it, you can use our export services to export the document into the format of your choice. We also help with accessibility, wherein we can help auto tag the document. So documents have a natural structure, which is wherein there is headings, paragraphs, tables, rows, columns that we need to define, and there might be images also. So we have the ability to tag the document, and a lot of companies have seen benefits, and I'm going to talk about those as well during this session. The last and the fourth pillar is document authenticity, wherein a document is going out of your company, it's an invoice document, and it needs to be authenticated and by the company, wherein a stamp or a digital signature needs to be applied to all the documents, right? So this is where Adobe can help you even apply those seals, ensure that the document is protected and sealed as per your organization's requirement. So we're going to deep dive into all four of these pillars and then take it ahead, right? In addition to these four pillars, we also have multiple other APIs to manage the documents, convert them, split them, linearize them, combine them, reorder, delete, compress are among those that we have. They've been leveraged as an API, so you can set these up with the integration to any solution or a database that you may have. Just for you to know, if there are any developers in the room, we also have SDKs to manage or utilize these APIs in .NET, Node, Python, and Java languages, right? So that you can manage and talk to our API with ease. And there are code samples also available on GitHub that you can use. So let's look at document generation. So your businesses actually move at the speed of the document, right? It moves as fast as you can send that document out to the customer or get a document from that client. That's when you can take the next step. And to manually create custom documents, it is just slowing you down. So that's where document generation APIs can come in. These are end user friend. These are created through end user friendly templates for authoring through MS Word. Now this is super important, right? Because a lot of platforms who help you create custom documents, templates, and managing templates is one of the most difficult tasks. But Adobe has really made configuration of the template super simple, wherein you can create tags using plugins into Word. They'll help you create tags and you can just keep adding them to the document. And even an end user who may not have a lot of technical know-how will be able to manage, edit these documents as and when required. So once the template is created, you can merge JSON data based on any system of record, CRM, HCM, any other solution that you may have. You can easily reference templates from existing storage systems. Dynamic document assembly based on conditional rules. And because we have dynamic document assembly, so basically what happens is this really helps you reduce the number of templates that you would need to create, wherein suppose you can with this dynamic conditionality, suppose a particular contract is for US, you can ensure that the US guidelines are in that particular document. And if the contract is for India, with conditional text, you can have Indian guidelines in that particular contract. So it really helps you reduce the number of templates and improve efficiency. And again, it has a native integration with Adobe Acrobat Sign. So you generate a document, you can send it out for signing. So the use cases that you can do from here is maybe sales, like the standard sales contracts that are generated, or HR onboarding documents. Really helps you reduce the cost through saved hours, which would have been used to create those documents, and increase revenue through accelerated business processes. So what it does is it helps you author the document in Word. You can merge the data with the system of records that you may have and send the document for an approval and a signing uh, to get approved and get signed by the relevant party. So let's see how it actually works. We'll show you a short demo.
But enterprises can have even more complex business processes. So let's see how our automation services with Acrobat Sign and Acrobat Services can help streamline things. I need to send a contract to my customer, and depending on the contract value, I may have different approval processes. With Power Automate and Acrobat Sign, I can create advanced workflows and dynamic routing visually. And I don't have to start from scratch. We have several pre-made templates for you to start from and customize to your workflow. When I start the contract workflow, I'm asked a few questions. Here we can choose which payment terms. I'm going to choose net 30. And I'll also give a contract value. Notice I also have some questions that I answered about the recipient as well. Once we send, this workflow will use document generation in Acrobat Services to personalize the document and add clauses into the contract based on rules. These templates are made simply in Microsoft Word using our easy-to-use add-in. The contract will route either to my VP or my manager based on the contract value. We can see that the document is personalized with the information provided, and the contract terms include the net 30 payment terms. So this now becomes a self-serve experience, as I didn't have to ask my legal team to manually change the contract for pre-approved terms. Once that's signed, the contract is stored automatically in SharePoint and a notification is sent out to my team in Slack. These automated workflows mean fewer clicks, smarter routing, and no bottlenecks. It also connects with over 500 plus connectors like Google Workplace, Box, Salesforce, Teams, and many others. The conversation becomes less about how Document Cloud can integrate with my business tools and more about how can we integrate with business processes.
So as you can see, it's very easy to use solution wherein, whatever documents that have not yet been automated, you can really utilize our plugins and our integration ecosystem to push these documents out with ease, right? And really, as Ben said, it's not about, do you integrate or talk to a particular software. It's more about what is the organization's vision for that process to be, and just executing that particular process in that vision. So you can save your energy and stop thinking about integration first, but just look at what it is that you want to achieve with that particular solution. Focus more on creating that process, refining that process, and managing that process. Right. Okay, so let's take a few examples of how we have actually helped companies, with our document generation solution. So this is a Microsoft story. Microsoft has people across the world, and there are around 180,000 people whom they are continuously talking to with the documentation here and there. When they started using Adobe Adobe Document Cloud APIs, especially the document generation APIs, they were able to create documents for travel letters, salary, employment verification, onboarding letters, and also needed to ensure that clauses of country specific requirements were created, right? So the solution that they used was our generation APIs, which they create a document out of and then send these same documents for signing. How it helped them was it reduced the number of templates from 600 templates that they initially had to 300 templates. So it was easier for the internal teams to manage the different templates or the template variation they would have initially, right? Of course, there was productivity and cost benefit because this entire process, which was manual, was now automated. And again, there was the question of human error, right, while generating an offer letter or getting certain details wrong is reduced, because now you're getting documents generating out of your single source of truth where the data is residing. So if the employee or the person has updated that data, then the same thing will translate onto the document as well. Also, there was this large energy company. Now their use case was slightly different. They had a lot of customers who would give inputs onto their website. They would put in their inputs, and based on these inputs given, they had to generate a document and generate a code and send it out to the customer, right? So initially, in their context, this was being done by a lot of third-party, providers, wherein they would actually manually have someone go visit the customer, check out the requirements, and then give a quote. But with Adobe, with the document generation solution, right, and the signing solution together, they were able to ensure that 100% of their customers moved online and were able to create quotes for themselves by giving information online. How did this help them? This helped them drive a safe and secure experience for their customers, and also they could then go on and feed in the right information into their CRM solutions as well, right? Because if they had customers feeding in certain data in that particular form, they could extract that data as well and put it into the CRM of their choice. So they really utilized multitude of our APIs along with the document generation APIs to get this entire workflow working, and also talk to the internal CRM solution that they would be using. Okay, so let's talk about the next pillar, which is the document intelligence pillar. Now, in document intelligence, we often treat information. We often treat PDFs as data storage or information that is just stored and it's meant to be forgotten. right? But it actually contains a lot of rich content which can be which can help you extract valuable insights if we treat it like a data source. Now, how will we extract these valuable insights? So to do that, we have these extract APIs. And with our extract APIs, we are not just extracting the text, but we are also extracting the structure that particular text is in. Is it in headings, paragraphs? Is it in tables? Is it in image format? So we are also extracting the structure of the content and its natural reading order, which is what it makes the text easier to read and read through, right? And once you have extracted this text, which is quality data, it can then be pushed into any RPA, NLP, LLM, or a CRM solution of your choice to take your workflows ahead. So one of the biggest use case that we get to hear a lot from a lot of our customers is basically because in India now I feel we are like there are a lot of people who are working into AI ML technology and trying to design an AI ML solution or an LLM solution for their customers, right? But to design these solutions, you need to have quality data that these solutions can read and then derive some information from the data received. So some of our customers here in India have actually used our extract API to pull out the details from PDF, its natural reading structure. And I mean, we work on a variety of PDFs that are out there, and we can derive, like, if there is tabular information, if there are paragraphs, if there are images, we can pull all of these out and provide you this information in JSON format, which you can then utilize and push it through your NLP or an LLM solution that you're trying to build and take that ahead. So let's see a short demo on this.
In this demo, we will see how Adobe Acrobat Services can help to pull valuable content out of your existing PDFs using the PDF Extract API, which is part of the Adobe PDF Services connector in Power Automate. So what kind of content can I pull out of a PDF? As in the case of this document you see here, PDFs are made up of several types of objects, including images or figures, text, which is further broken up into paragraphs, headings, lists, footnotes, but also includes fonts, styling, and other formats. PDFs can also include tables that have cells that can span multiple columns and rows, as well as their own formatting. Content can be extracted from native PDF files, as well as ones that have been created from document scanning. Tables and text and structure is output as JSON, or JavaScript Object Notation, which is an open data interchange format that is both human and machine readable. Images are output as PNG files. And in addition, tables are also output as PNG and optionally CSV or Excel files. Let's see how we can extract content from this PDF file. To process files with the PDF Extract API, you can use low-code, no-code solutions like Power Automate, or you can use our Adobe REST API. Refer to the Document Generation API demo, where we provide more detail about the use of Power Automate. But to keep it simple, we're going to use SharePoint as the source content, and I've created a SharePoint list where the extracted data will go. Let's go to our input folder and upload a few documents to extract. The documents here that we're using for demonstration are RFPs, or request for proposal documents. Now, uploading these documents triggers a Power Automate flow. This flow searches every document for the occurrence of the phrase liability and tracks that and writes it to the SharePoint list. We called it RFP topics. And there in the SharePoint list, you can see the document name of all the documents we processed, the text where liability was found, and also the page number. Now, this has been just a simple example, but imagine the ability to mine all of your contracts for specific terms and clauses and dates and send alerts to your legal teams to take action.
How you can extract details from a particular document and how that entire workflow works. And really the use of it, the real use of it comes into play when you utilize this extracted document to derive information out of it. So let's look at let's look at a certain customer use cases that wherein these extract APIs actually help. So this is a use case from Mitsubishi UFJ Trust Investment Technology Institute. Now, when you talk about Mitsubishi, what they are into a business of consulting, wherein they need to evaluate environment, social, and governance issues associated with potential investment targets, right, for their particular companies. And when they do this analysis, when they do these evaluations, these are not number based evaluations. There are certain components that are number based, but these are not just number based evaluation. There is a lot of text that they have to read, analyze, and make sense of before they actually go ahead and provide their analysis. So they have to read through annual report, K10 reports, a lot of documents about a company while they are creating this particular report for a customer. So what they did was they leveraged Adobe PDF extract APIs to automatically extract content, not just text, but also the structure of the content from a variety of PDF documents as an input to the NLP engine that analyzed the data for this ESG, as they called it, environment, social, and governance assessment that they carry. How this helped them was it reduced the development and maintenance overhead associated with extracting content from financial documents. So, and this they were also able to deliver higher quality inputs to the NLP engine to increase the quality of outputs. So really, this helped them tie together not just numerical analysis that they would do, but the contextual or the text-based analysis that they would have to do, which otherwise would require them to read through a lot of text. Also, there is this camp. We helped Cambridge University for assessments, wherein the documents, the test documents that are being created and responses that are being given are actually managed and extracted out of the papers, so that you can analyze them with ease. And this really helped their staff save a lot of time managing and making sense of the details that were given by the students. So really helped them save time while they were analyzing and reading through the documents. Let's look at the third pillar, which is the accessibility pillar, and see what it can do for us. So when you look at accessibility, there are millions of people with low or no vision and other disabilities who are actually relying on screen readers to experience information. So when they're reading this information, and if it does not have any tags, or if it does not have any association that this is the heading, this is the paragraph, this is the table, or this is the image, then the text just looks like this with no information, uh, without any structure. But to make it look like this, or make them hear that it looks that this is the heading, this is the paragraph, this is the table for that particular document, so that they'll be able to again derive more information if they have more access to that particular document, right? So this is where Adobe actually has accessibility auto tag API that helps to improve the readability of the document. So what happens is we identify you need to identify the documents in the repository that you need to undergo the accessibility test. So first we have an accessibility checker API also that helps you check if this document is accessible. If not, how what is it that you need. And after you've done that analysis, you can continue, and you can go ahead and tag the document, right? You basically tagging the document means highlighting, okay, this is the heading, this is the paragraph, this is the table. You may ask, why is that important? But actually, once you have that information, suppose you have to do a simple task of building an index for a 500-page long PDF. Once you have conducted this activity and you have just gone through it briefly, saying that yes, the tags that have been generated, auto generated using Adobe Sensei's AI are actually correct, you can then go ahead and move all the headings to to as an index and bookmark them, so that a person can scroll through and navigate through the document with ease. So what does accessibility tool actually do? It helps you tag the content. As I said, it identifies the reading order, it works on long form text and mixed content document, and applies at scale, right? If you want to automate the process of giving tags to each of the documents, just like has been provided here, uh, it can do that for you, right? Again, this helps you reduce time and effort and budget required to get the compliances that yes, the documents that you're sending out of the company are accessible. So let's again look at the video of how accessibility actually works.
In this demo, we will see how Adobe Acrobat Services can help automate optimizing documents for screen readers using the PDF Accessibility Auto Tag API, which is part of the Adobe PDF Services connector in Power Automate. So what is the PDF tag structure? In this demo, we will see how Adobe Acrobat Services can help automate optimizing documents for screen readers using the PDF Accessibility Auto Tag API, which is part of the Adobe PDF Services connector in Power Automate. So what is the PDF tag structure? As in the case of this document you see here, in order to read its text accurately using a screen reader or other text-to-speech tools, it must have document structure tags that define the reading order, identifying images, headers, paragraphs, lists, and other elements. As you can see, this PDF document does not contain any accessibility tags. Applying text tags one by one often is a very tedious, slow, and error-prone process. Let's see how we can apply these tags automatically. To process files with the PDF Accessibility Auto Tag API, you can use low-code, no-code solutions like Power Automate, or you can use our REST APIs as well. Refer to the Document Generation API demo, where we provide more detail about using Power Automate. Here we drop several files in OneDrive, and that triggers a Power Automate flow. Just like this file, all of the other files that were dropped into the input file have been processed. This has been just a simple example, but imagine the ability to uplevel all of your PDF content to ensure accessibility to everyone without incurring significant cost and effort of updating each individual PDF manually.
So you saw how easy it is to make the document accessible using our accessibility APIs, right? Again, the solution, like how did we actually help someone, would be this FSI story, this bank story that we have, wherein this bank actually had to create accessible documents for the end user, and they actually had a project, an accessibility project, that they had to pursue for all their public facing documents that were present for the end user on their websites, right? So what they used was our APIs in the beta program, and they this the benefits that they received out of it, that the team saved a lot of time that would have been otherwise spent to manually tag a document. And also what they saw was with our accessibility APIs which tagged the document, they were able to improve the document readability by 60 to 70%, which was great for them, because at least there was a lot of improvement in how documents were being perceived and read by the end user. And again, this is a thing, I think this is also now coming in India, wherein there is more and more focus to ensure that the documentation, especially from larger companies and institutions, to ensure that whenever they're reaching out to the public faces facing documents are accessible to people with different needs. The last pillar is the security or the authentication pillar. Now, basically what happens is a lot of documents that are that are with the that are front ended or with are in the public domain, what we have found out, that 92% of these documents are editable. Also, there has been a 20% increase in invoice of frauds that have been done in the recent past. So, to really regulate or manage the communication that the company is having with the end user, you need to ensure that the documents that are out there in public domain are secured and are sealed as per company's requirement. So how what will work here? So a lot of companies, you may not know it, have to ensure that there is someone who seals or gives a digital certificate on that particular document, right? But the it's not easy for an end user to every time sit down and sign that particular document. This is where we have electronic seal APIs that will actually help you apply a digital certificate that you may have procured from any of the services that you have, and upload it with us, and then we apply it to the document as a bulk project. So if you have 1,000, 10,000, 11,000 documents and you want the electronic seal to be applied to them as and when they get created, Adobe Acrobat eSeal APIs can help you do that. And we have actually had a lot of use cases for this particular solution from companies, manufacturing companies that are creating a lot of invoices when they're sending out the product. We also have a requirement from these solutions by HR, right? HR teams, whenever they're sending in the offer letter, they don't want to sit down and sign that offer letter every time. So instead, they choose to use our electronic seal, wherein offer letter gets generated, it's system generated. Once it is approved, automatically a seal will be provided, and then it can be sent out to the candidate. So there's a lot that you can do with these set of APIs and achieve that particular North Star goal that you may have, right? So basically, it'll also help Naina, Abir, and Gagan, who played different roles in the company. With Adobe Document Cloud, they can hope to achieve successes in their role and actually show a better way to manage and read documents. Again, with this improved with this automation, you'll be able to see increased efficiency, reduced errors, improved security, cost saving, compliances, ensure compliances, and increased profitability. And you're not in this journey alone. Adobe solutions are being utilized world over by multiple companies, small to big to medium sized companies who are utilizing our solutions to better their products and services, right? And this is it from me. I think I can go ahead, take a few questions, should there be any idea.
Thank you, Ketaki. Thank you for your insights on this. And it was quite an extensive presentation, and it covered a whole lot of ground on the products and solutions, and also the benefits and how. And I especially like the sustainability part that you showed for one of the customers, for the energy customer, right? So that was great. Ketaki, while I'll let you encounter the audience questions, before that, could you please explain how can I integrate Acrobat Services API into my existing document management system?
Definitely. So there are multiple ways to integrate our solutions. Since these are REST-based APIs, you can utilize these APIs uh, as is and consume them with your system. Or we also have SDKs in multiple languages. So you just need to choose the language that you have built the system or you're comfortable in, and pick out that SDK and start working.
Got it. And how does Acrobat Services API handle, say, a security or compliance concern for sensitive documents?
Definitely. So that's also an issue, right? You need to when we build these particular API set, we have ensured that these are secured. So we have bank rate encryption when the data is in motion, and when it is at rest. The data is at rest, we have 256 like we do encryption at a bank level. And another thing that we do, because these are APIs and we know that nobody is going to store the documents in our solution, right? So whenever you run a document through our API service to manipulate the document, whatever is the response you get, after 1 day we garbage collect all the data. So you also have the ability to delete all the details from our end, so it will, all the details will just be with us while the document is being processed and you get a response back. You have the ability to then make a command and delete all the documents from our servers, but we also garbage collect data towards after every 24 hours, so it will automatically expire and you'll not have access. So there are a lot of security features and concerns that we have actually built around this particular service to ensure that it is the right fit for our customers.
Got it, Ketki. So now let's segue into the audience questions. And while we are on the topic of security, Prakash Raval asks, could you please let us know this signed document in Adobe will be a legal valid document or not?
Yeah. So the thing is, the validity of the document, the legal validity of the document is something that you need to confirm with your legal teams. What I can tell you as of date is when it comes to IT Act 2000, right? This IT Act has 5 parameters that any signed document needs to meet. We need to know who is signing, so then you end user needs to authenticate. There needs to be an audit trail. You need to carry a certificate from a government authorized body, and two such parameters that we need to meet. So all of these parameters are actually met by Adobe Acrobat Sign. When it comes to a signing solution, we have also given out a tri-legal document, which is a 3-page document. It's a quick read, and it actually tells you about, how how our signing solution is relevant here in India. So I would encourage you to look for that document. If you do tri-legal Adobe Acrobat Sign search, you'll get easy access. Okay, but just search for Trilegal Adobe Acrobat Sign. You'll get that 3-page PDF.
Got it. Now, Ganesh M. Joshi asks, what about notification and conditional triggering? Can it be used for product development lifecycle to collaborate cross-functionally, and where task assignment or workflow timeline could be tracked?
So see, task assignment and workflow is not something that we would look at. We would look at, okay, so this is for conditional triggering. So I think what you're trying to say is in document generation, where will the conditional triggering happen, right? Basically what will happen is whatever is your input source. Now it could be any solution that you have. It could be a form, it could be an Excel sheet, whatever is your input source, it would have certain details in it. Now, I'll take a basic detail that suppose you're creating a contract, and in that you want a 30-day payment term, 60-day payment term, or a 90-day payment term. And the customer needs to choose that, okay, it's a 30-day payment term or a 60-day payment term or a 90-day payment term. As soon as they choose the 90-day payment term, the relevant clause gets pulled in. So it will be active or triggered through the inputs that are given by the end user into the form or any data that they fill out. And where will you write the structure that if this is the input, if 30 days is the input, then this is the text that needs to be written. This structure is now going to be defined into your template. As far as notifications is concerned, which I think what you mean is when once a document gets created, how will you come to know? So we have certain services that we provide, that as soon as the document gets created, you can trigger that particular API and get the document sent to you at a particular URL. So it's a pretty straightforward you know management of document generation. I hope that was the question and I've been able to answer that. If not, could you just like maybe elaborate a little more on the question?
So while he comes back, we'll move on to the next question. Probably this will be the last question, and then we will let the audience connect with you. I'm sure as and when they explore the product, they'll have a lot more to ask and confirm. So what are the license details to use the set features, and are these features available on-premise mode instead of the cloud, is what Venkateshwar is asking.
Yeah, so no, we do not offer on-prem mode for our APIs. It's on cloud only. For licensing, these are transaction based, as we call it. And also the transaction calculation for different APIs is a little different. To understand more, I'll need to send you a few links.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Ketki. Thank you for your patience regarding the questions and thank you for answering all of them in detail. People can connect with you, I'm sure, because it's such an interesting opportunity. Everyone would want to explore more and know more. Thank you so much for taking time out for the audience as well. Thank you for participating in the discussion. Hope you learned a lot. And thank you for the team for facilitating this. As of now, we'll take your leave. In case of further details, please contact the team and we'll get it answered as soon as possible. Thank you.